Hello everyone, it's me, Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. Today, the 4th of June, what I'm going to do for Prepune, I'm still calling it that, yes. I am going to be rereading my 70k in 7 days April CampNaNoWriMo novel, Project Faye. Because for July, I'm going to be revising it. It is here in all of its beautiful printed off glory. Look at that. Oh, I don't even know how long it is. All 285 words of Project Faye. 71-ish thousand words. I think that's changed ever so slightly. It's 76,000 words now. I added 5,000 words somehow, but that's fine. It's not an issue. It just means that in order for me to get to my 80k-ish word count goal, which I want to hit, I need to add only about 4,000 words, and I should not really be taking anything out. Obviously, reading through the novel, I know that might happen, so I know now if I need to take anything out, I have to put something else back in its place. Now, the first thing I always do as my rereads for any project that I have for its first draft is I reread it after a length of time. It's been about a month and a half since I finished writing this, and about a month since I started rewriting the beginning. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to read it, but as a reader. I don't want to try and cast a critiquey, writerly eye on it now. I just want to sort of get a sense for the novel as it is before I dig deeper. I don't want to just go in criticising everything that I've done. I need to read all of it as a whole to see what I've got. And I try and do it with as much of an open mind, with as much of a, this is some random story that I have picked up, rather than this is something that I wrote. Because if I think of it as something that I wrote, I'm going to get overly critical of it very, very quickly. And we're going to try and take this slow. So as I go through the rereads, I'm going to be looking out for 3 to 4 things, depending on, you know, the content itself. I'm going to be looking down and just noting on a spare pad of paper the bits where I start feeling bored, or the bits where I sort of skip, the bits that are going too fast, and the bits that don't make sense. These are the 3-ish areas I'm going to be looking for during my first minor reread as the reader, before I delve into my more critical, in-depth rereads as a writer. Let's go.
Beware the woods, the adults say. Don't close your eyes or look away. Make one wrong step, you'll surely pay, for the woods are where the fairies play.
Okay, I have a prologue in this story, the first ever prologue that I wrote, and I remember during camp last year, I spent way too long writing this prologue, like I was editing it as I went, basically, which is a big no-no for CampNaNoWriMo for me. But for some reason, I wanted to make it sound as perfect as I could, and rereading it now, I was like, I wrote this sounds so cool, I really, really like it. I really do still like the prologue. Obviously, it can use some editing with words and sentence structure and things like that, but I like it as the introduction, I really do. And is it 100% necessary to the story? No, but it sort of introduces the setting as a whole, where the entire story is going to take place. And it contains a backstory for one of the characters, for one of the twists or revelations later on, I should say, in the story. So I'm really pleased with that. I'm happy with that. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm glad I'm happy. It's good to be happy when you reread something you haven't read in ages. We're off to a good start. I don't know about the rest of it though. I can sort of remember what I wrote as I wrote it, because I wrote it so quickly. I know that the next chapter's not as good as the prologue in my head from what I remember writing. I know it's not as good. So really, I need to go through this book, like I need to make everything as good as a prologue. That is my goal. Okay, I've just finished reading the first chapter. I was right when I said that it was not going to be as good as a prologue. I think maybe I've started it at the right point, but I'm introducing the wrong things at this point. We start with the main character finding out about this massive celebration, which is one of the causes of her finding out that she's really a human and not a fairy. And it sort of just jumps straight into it. It's going too fast. It's going too fast. Yeah, so it's a slight pacing issue at the beginning at the moment so far. Something I can sort of try and figure out once I know what I've got in the entire thing, to know whether I need to add more to the beginning or whether I need to slim the beginning down but not make it read so fast is what I need to figure out now.
Gilroy took a large serving spoon and spooned a spoon.
Okay, so we are roughly halfway through the book. I think I know what the midpoint was supposed to be. The most exciting thing that has happened in the entire book so far. So I'm assuming that's the midpoint. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what I was going for anyway. The first half of Act 2, the exciting act, is not very exciting at all, to be fair. Nothing really happens. She does some exploring in the village and she does some farming and she does a little bit of learning about things that she doesn't know but she already knows. It's unclear because I say at one point she knows this stuff and then at another point in the book I say that she doesn't know this stuff, so I don't know what I was doing there. But nothing happens, nothing exciting happens. There's definitely places for me to inject more fairy into it, to have more exciting things happen to the character as she's going about trying to do what she's trying to do. I need to inject a lot of information and excitement and fairy into this fairy story because it's not quite there yet.
Here is a sentence that will foreshadow the big reveal about Queen Orlaith in a future chapter, which will help Kinley win the game.
Okay, so we have officially finished my read through of Project Fae. It was not as bad as I feared it would be, but it is not as good as I hoped it would be. So we're sort of gliding through the middle, which isn't a bad position to be in, to be fair. I think the pacing for the overall novel is okay. Character arcs seem to be happening despite the fact I never actually planned any. There is a lot of growth with the main character, especially towards the end of the novel, which definitely has to change. The beginning is a little bit goes a bit too fast, and then nothing very interesting happens during the first half of the second act, and then only one thing really happens in the second half of the second act. So I'm definitely going to need to input some more exciting things, some events, some tension, something needs to go there to make things more interesting. So here are my notes for the different chapters that I've got. Every chapter is a 1, 2, 3. Basically the things that I think immediately need to change, that I need to work on, some bits here that I need to input into the story itself. And not that it relates to anything in the specific text apart from the chapter. Little bits up here where I've just put, in general for the story, this is what I need to work on. Timeline is a big one. I noticed it goes 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 1 day, all over the place. Bits I need to add here. Some more characters I need to add into the story, but they need to be added before chapter 14, which I didn't really see much problem with chapter 14, to be fair, so lucky me. I'm sure if I looked harder there'd be more. So there's not timeline. So there's not much which needs to change within the chapters, but there definitely is a lot of things which need to change and be added in with the plot, which is the next thing I need to work on. As you can probably tell by my clothes, it is a new day. It's almost like a week later since I recorded the first part of this video of me rereading. So you can tell how easy it is and how quickly I record my videos if I'm doing them a week apart. I have started doing a more in-depth read now of Project Fae. I have added at the top these little post-it notes. These are all of the chapters at the top, so I can flip through them easily if I need to. And then on the side here, I've added the days, the timeline that I currently have. So that's day 2, day 3, day 7, etc. And then on these days, I've put how many days it is until what is supposed to be the final day. It's off. Where I have the final day, like she needs to be on the human world for 7 days. She's only got 7 days. But on day 7, she's got, like, in the book, like 2 days left until she's supposed to be due back. And I've been like, 7 days, 7 days. The timeline's off, basically. So that tells me how much it's off by and what I need to work on. So we have a game plan in regards to fixing the timeline and in regards to what I need to work on, both to add in while I read through and add and take away scenes in the manuscript. And yeah, we have a plan. We have a plan. In regards to camp, in regards to what I need to do to start rewriting and making this novel better, I need to add more to the beginning. I think it is a little bit too fast. I need to add a little bit more of her mundane life or explain it a little more. It's also very telling. I'm not too bothered about the telling at this point. I want to really just focus on the plot and the characters and not go too deep into telling. But if I notice anything that is too telling, I will do my best to remove it. There needs to be more fairies in my little made-up village of Kilmyron in Ireland to sort of up the culture and lore of fairies in Ireland as well, and sort of make it a bit more dangerous or more tense for the main character to be there. I need to add 2 events into Act 2 Part 1. There's no action in the first half of Act 2 until the point where the fairies are like, you need to come home now, and she refuses to go with them. Like that's midpoint. But nothing happens before that, nothing interesting. One more event for Act 2 Part 2. At the moment, there's a couple, but I want one more just to seal the deal a little bit. I need more from my other 2 characters, Jack and Aisling. I need to build up a friendship between my main character Kinley and Jack and Aisling, who are the other 2 characters in the novel. They're just there, really. They're there, and then they're there at the end to help her out, but we don't really get to know them or their goals and motivations, so I need more of them in the story. At the moment, I can take Jack out and he's not important. I could probably also take Aisling out, and I want it to be the point where I can't take these characters out. I can't take them out because they're needed for the plot, so that's what I need to work on with them. I need to change the ending. Only ever so slightly. The ending I have is the ending I want, but it happens to the wrong character. It needs to happen to Kinley, not because of Kinley, to sort of give it a more of an impact with her character arc. But that's going to be an easy fix. I just need to make it work for the ending. So that's my game plan. It's not as much as I thought it would be. They're very, very easy fixes, mostly, except for having to add some scenes in. But I add scenes all the time when I rewrite anyway. It's the thing I do. I add stuff. I don't ever take stuff away. That's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments below, how do you go about revising your novels? What is the first step that you take? And I'll see you in my next video. Good thoughts and happy writing.